Okay, guys, I'm going to embark on my first 72-hour fast. I'll be able to drink water, obviously, take in salts, potassium, sodium, uh, lime juice, apple cider vinegar. It doesn't cause any trouble. And it's supposed to create something called auto eating or autophagia or something like that. Also, I can see the word. I can't kind of remember it. Anyway, it's supposed to go out and grab bad cells in your body after you deplete your glucose. That should happen in about 24 hours for my case, because I don't eat a lot of carbs in the first place. So during day two, the body's going to be looking for food sources. It's obviously going to go after fat, and then it's going to go after broken, damaged cells, those so called free radicals. I've been studying up on those things. It's very interesting. And cancer cells, and any illnesses that you have, bacteria, virus. Your body goes out and actually says, you look delicious. Yum. How would you like to come over for dinner? Be dinner. So that's kind of the idea. And so far, everything that I've done has worked just as they said it would. So, coming back off of a 72-hour fast, slowly, I'll probably drink some broth. I'm making corned beef, so that will make quite a delicious broth. I may add some bones to a separate pot of water to go ahead and make myself some stock. Today they call it bone broth, I guess, but stock. And by within a day, I'll be eating full force again. So I did make my own sauerkraut, which I thought was really cool. I couldn't believe it. It only took 3 days. The idea there is you chop up some cabbage as finely or as coarsely as you wish, but weigh it. Multiply that number on your scale, hopefully grams, because it's a lot easier. Although it should work with ounces, but you're going to get a weird number. But grams are cool. So say you have 200 grams and you multiply by 0.02, that means 2% salt. So that would be 4 grams of salt. So you take the 200 grams of cabbage, you throw in the 2 grams of salt, and you put your hand in there and you start mixing it around. It takes about 10 minutes until the liquid comes out of the celery, and then you tamp the the cabbage, tamp that down so that it is submerged under the liquid. If that doesn't happen, you'll have to work out a system, preferably ahead of time, to work in your glass jar and kind of put a weight on it to keep the celery covered. Within 3 days, the lactobacteria will come in there and go, this is really delicious stuff. So it consumes part of the cabbage, but in return, it will give you vinegar. So it sours your cabbage out. Now, you can get it as sour as you want. At 3 days, 4 days, I decided to put it in the fridge, but it was still fermenting. So here at day, I think 5 or 6, I taste the stuff and it's like, you know what? It tastes like everything you've ever tasted in sauerkraut. If you like sauerkraut, especially if you're hot dogs, I'm from Buffalo, and that's what we did. But it doesn't have the nitrate flavor. And if you taste one from a jar and taste one of your own, you'll know what I mean by nitrate flavor. So corned beef also, that is 20% salt brine solution, and you just put your beef in it, and you put a bunch of spices, whatever you like, and I got it sitting on top of my fridge. Ew, you're leaving it out in the open? Well, when did they invent corned beef? Look that up, and then look up when they invented the refrigeration process. I leave that to you to do your own research. But yeah, I leave it outside, and it will brine for 5 days, and then I will throw it in a pressure cooker and cook the living hell out of it. 20 minutes full power. Normally in my electric pressure cooker, they call it the Instapot, whatever. It sounds like a dumb name, but it's a pressure cooker. And what it does, water at 1 bar. Sorry guys, this alarm that's bothering me, but I need the alarm or I'll forget stuff. At 1 bar, 1 atmosphere, water has the solvent capacity of alcohol. So if you took your beef and you put it in a crock pot for 14 days at high and just boiled away, my 40 minutes at 1 atmosphere will always make it more tender, because the water turns into a solvent and actually gets in there. You know that silver skin on meat? You know how you can never ever really get that stuff to where you're not like, or gristle, that little chunk in beef where it's a kind of a little white fibrous thing and you're like, oh, it's really delicious, but darn, I can't do anything with it. Pressure cooking takes care of that. Pressure cooking dissolves that stuff. I mean, it turns it in. I mean, it's delicious. You just totally chew it. Goodbye, adios. All right, again, kind of a long video here on just my 72-hour fast, but I figure if I bore you for 72 hours, it'll make my fast go better. Actually, I don't feel any hunger, so it's no big deal. Or I will tell you as I go through the process. But typically, I don't feel hunger, and there's some reasons why. When you're actually hungry or starving, everything gets better. Your brain gets better. Your focus gets much better. Try to think through that yourself. Think of when you had a really big, heavy meal. Do you really feel like doing anything? Most animals don't. Humans are animals. Now think you've been kind of without food for 3 or 4 days. Okay, and you need to hunt some down. Does your energy necessarily have to get better? Does your focus necessarily have to get better? See, that's the idea. All of the ancient world did fasts. The Jews had several fasts, and the Catholics have retained 2. But I'm going back to the old Jewish fast because they seem very interesting, and they're periodic, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to follow the Jewish schedule for these 72-hour fasts, although they didn't do those. They did 25-hour fasts, but it doesn't matter. The deal is that they're spread out throughout the year, probably to help the human body. You know, even if you don't like God or whatever, go back to some of the religions and find out what they do. It might just have really good health benefits because they're still alive, and most people who aren't them aren't. Figure that one out. All right, a little over 8 minutes. We'll talk to you guys later, and have a great day.